Hey guys, welcome back or welcome to my channel, and if you clicked on this video, I'm assuming you want a really good, super amazing nacho recipe that is really affordable and really doesn't take that much effort to make, but still is super good and super tasty. So without further ado, let's get on to the recipe. So the first thing you're going to need are obviously some tortilla chips. This is the brand I use. I would highly recommend them. They're super thin and crispy at the same time, and they just make the best nacho chips I've ever had in my entire life, so I would definitely recommend them. We're also going to need some cheese. Quite obviously, you can't have nachos without cheese. This is the brand that I use. I get this from Costco, and they come in these big blocks that will last you for quite a while. Next, we're gonna go ahead and get some black pepper. This is also from Costco. Definitely need this in the recipe. Follow that up with some crushed red pepper. You also need this if you want a little bit of kick to it. Makes it a little spicy and hot. And you also need a singular pepper. It doesn't matter what color it is. I'm just using yellow for today, but it can be red if you would like it, or orange. Doesn't really matter. And lastly, this is not gonna be needed to cook the nachos, but you obviously want some salsa. I definitely highly recommend this salsa right here. Once you eat this salsa, everything else just tastes like crap. This is the best salsa I've ever had in my entire life. You need the salsa right here. I get it from Costco. So the first thing you're gonna do is go ahead and get a medium thin base layer of tortilla chips in any type of glass pan. You can make it really long like the one I have here, or a smaller one. Doesn't matter, whatever your preference is. And once you have this medium layer, you want to make sure it kind of covers all of the spots in the glass pan. So you don't want it to be too open, so you want it to be a pretty nice thin, medium thin layer that isn't too stacked up on one another, but just enough to cover the base. And then you're gonna go ahead and grind your cheese up. And this is gonna take quite a while if you want to have a good amount of cheese. And I would highly recommend really putting on a lot of cheese, because while it may look like a lot, once it gets melted in, it's not gonna seem like near as much as it was. So if you think you can skimp out on the cheese and only put a little bit, you're gonna be paying the price when it gets cooked, because it's not gonna even melt that much. So the amount of cheese you see here is definitely necessary, and it's going to make your nachos definitely a lot better. So once you're done putting all the cheese on that first layer, you're gonna go ahead and get your black pepper and red pepper and sprinkle that all over the top. I would lay off a little bit on the crushed red pepper if you can't really handle spiciness, because this does add a nice little kick when you get the chips with it on there. And once you're done with that, go ahead and take your peppers, cut it up, and then add it on there, and that is going to make those nachos be so good. And I like to add a secondary layer because one kind of base layer isn't that much. So I'll go ahead and add another medium thin layer of chips right on top of that first one, and literally do the exact same thing. So go ahead, put the same amount of cheese on top of that again, add your black pepper, red pepper, and actual cut up peppers, and put it on there, and that is going to be amazing. Literally the best nachos you'll ever eat. And here's what it looks like after you have applied all of the cheese and all of your delicious little toppings. It's going to look like this, and it makes the best nachos ever. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the oven that has been preheating at 350 degrees since I started this process. So before you even start anything, I would definitely recommend preheating your oven then, because by the time you're done grinding up your cheese and adding everything, it'll be preheated already. And I'll leave this in the oven for a few minutes. If you like it to be a little crispier, you can leave it in there for 5, maybe 6 minutes. And if you like it kind of a little bit more soggy like I do, you can leave it in there for about 3 to 4 minutes. And honestly, it just takes cooking it a few times to see how long you like to leave it in the oven, to see what type of consistency you like. And you're gonna take it out, and that's basically it. That is the whole nacho recipe right there. This is so freaking good if you're craving nachos, and this is honestly a lot better than that fake cheese you could buy at the store that's already in a liquid form. This tastes so much better, so much fresher. And you can go ahead and get your salsa and pour it in a little bowl and eat it like that, and it is amazing when you take that nacho and dip it in that salsa. Definitely recommend if you're having people over and you want to celebrate, or if you just want a nice meal that isn't necessarily healthy but isn't really bad for you either, since you are kind of making it on your own. So I definitely would recommend this, and I do hope that you enjoy this recipe and really like these nachos, because I know that I do. So if you found value from this recipe and enjoyed this recipe, don't be shy and go ahead and leave a like, comment, or subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it, and it will let me know that you guys like this type of content. But thank you so much for watching, and have a beautiful day.